Big up Too Lazy to Try. Shane Gillis and Tony Hinchcliffe v Chelsea Handler. Shane Gillis and Tony Hinchcliffe, v Chelsea Handler. Shane Gillis and Tony Hinchcliffe v Chelsea Handler.
Who are those people who you think are going to play victim?
Chelsea Handler, and Chelsea Handler.
They are vile. Tony Hinchcliffe is like, come on. You were uncomfortable. It was gross. Some of the stuff is really gross. And I mean, I get it. I guess that's the spirit of a roast. But even, I don't know, I find it all to be pretty ick. So I just wanted to play it a little bit of a higher key, and while also eviscerating them and letting them know on behalf of women, really.
Yeah.
Since this seems to be an epidemic, you know what I mean? I really wanted to focus on the most kind of gross behavior. Not acceptable. And I'm not taking any of the joy out of it. It was a fun night. I had a great time, but I just don't think that kind of stuff is necessary. And I don't think it's funny. They're brutal to women and they're brutal to black women. And it's just so.
This is lame as fuck. Aren't you a comedian? Come on, Chelsea Handler, man. Now we know why people don't like her, innit? I think didn't Joey Diaz say he had a beef with her? Or she ignored or did something to Joey Diaz? I didn't remember that. Wasn't that a story about that? I think maybe I know this law because I'm too fucking online. But didn't Joey Diaz say something about Chelsea Handler? Or am I bugging out? I swear they had some sort of beef or something. There we go. Why Chelsea Handler can't stand Joey Diaz? Yeah, let's see this. I knew there was something.
Felicia's like a sister to me.
Yeah.
So if I went on the road with a woman that came up to me, I've had women ask me, and they don't stay at the hotel, they stay at their own home, they live in Austin or something like that. I have no problem, bro. I don't play that shit at all. I know what it's like to be a young girl. I have a daughter, and I remember what it was like 20 years ago. I'm going to tell you who can't stand me.
Right. Well, I'll do that.
I was thinking about this the other day. You know who cannot stand me? No. You know who you can't mention my name around?
Jesus Christ.
Chelsea Handler.
Oh, she's the worst.
The first time I met Chelsea Handler, I went off on her in a sexual way.
You tried to fuck her?
She was fucking gorgeous.
Yeah.
She was gorgeous. I knew that at that time she was doing drugs.
Yeah.
She was opening up for Dave Attell. I was fucked up on drugs.
Did y'all ever fuck?
No. What, are you fucking retarded? Are you fucking crazy? No.
I don't think it's crazy you would fuck someone. I think people fuck each other.
If I'm telling you, you can't mention my name around her. I went to that black club.
She still wants to fuck you?
No, bro. Stop trying to be funny.
Big up Theo. That was brilliant. Big up Theo. Yeah, I know you said she hates you. I know you said every time your name comes up around her, she fucking grimaces. I know she doesn't let anybody mention your name in her presence, but you could probably still fuck her. You probably still got a chance, right? I know she hates your fucking guts and wishes you died, right? And wishes you death and pain and misery, but I think you still got a chance. That was really good. We got Theo.
I'm not trying to be funny.
There was no fucking involved. I was a fucking asshole to her. We were doing that dumb black club on fucking
J-Spot.
No. The other one on
Union Station,
Beverly Boulevard, up down the block from the chicken place. There used to be a club there one night, and there was
Comedy Union.
This had to be 1998, bro. And I was out there every night with a package, and I'm at the store.
You were geeked up.
And I'm geeked.
Oh yeah, big up the baggy crew, big up the package crew, big up the baggy crew, big up the package crew.
Up luring bitches with coke and shit.
Yeah.
And I go to
she's there.
And I go to the Comedy Union to do a spot, and I see Chelsea Handler looking finer than a motherfucker.
Did she have big breasts then, or what?
In 1998, Chelsea Handler was fucking banging. So we start talking. She tells me she's very sweet to me.
Yeah.
That's one of the problems of being a comedian. Being a female comedian must be difficult. Being a female comedian must be one of the hardest jobs in the world, because nightlife in general isn't very favorable. It isn't the most kindest to women anyway. Nightlife in general, right? A woman goes out at night, shows a little bit of shoulder, you're gonna get sexually harassed by default, with it being just dark. If you step out and you've got your shoulders out, you're gonna get sexually harassed. A woman who walk down the like, I bet you if a woman walks down the street with her running gear after 9 p.m, she's getting fucking catcalled and sexually harassed. So I can't even imagine what it must be like for a woman working in stand-up in comedy, where you're in nightclubs and bars and shit. So just by default of you being out and being a woman and dressing in a certain way, or just looking a certain way, or just existing, you're gonna get some unsolicited advances. That's the real hard bit. It must be really, especially if you don't want it. If you want it, fair enough. If you just want to do your fucking job, tell some jokes, get paid and go home, it must be miserable. It must be so annoying to always have guys like say things, you know, to make moves on you and shit and objectify you and then start making you feel uncomfortable. Like, you just put on the fucking vest because you were hot, because you felt warm, because you knew the club might be a bit sweaty, and now all of a sudden you're thinking you should put a hoodie on because everyone's kind of looking at your cleavage, you know. It's like, ugh, because it's nighttime, isn't it? People just turn into monsters at nighttime. It must be one of the hardest jobs ever, and even worse around this era too, because Joey Diaz has mentioned and said, you know, a lot of times that this period was a period where they were taking advantage. They were fucking exchanging sexual favors for stage time. Sometimes they wouldn't even give the stage time, but that was a big part of the comedy scene back then. You know, I don't know if all of it was done. I don't know if all of it was done with the agreement of the people or under duress, but that was a thing that was done back in the day in the Comedy Store. People getting off with each other behind the curtains, behind the building, getting off with each other in the toilets, propositioning, like, it was crazy. So I can't imagine how difficult it was for women doing stand up in that era. You just want to, you know, you want to look cute on stage, you want to be presentable, but then people mistaken you wanting to look good as you want to fuck them, you know, because men make that leap sometimes. Men can sometimes make crazy logic leaps, you know. She's wearing a dress, oh yeah, she must want me. It's like, what? So yeah, I can only imagine how aggressive and how crazy Joey Diaz came off. Uncle Joey must have come off, you know, no pun intended, to fucking Chelsea Handler.
She tells me what her credentials.
And she's already a bit precious anyway. You already see she's a little bit of a complainer, a little bit. Do you know what I mean? She's a little bit, even with comedians, she gets easily offended. So I can't imagine. So I think Joey Diaz just read the room wrong. I don't think he knew her, because she's already this, you know, she's complaining about a roast, you know. That's the one place where there's no rules and you shouldn't take anything personally. She's complaining that her fellow comedians went too far at a fucking comedy roast, you know. So I don't think Joey Diaz read the room. He didn't read the room. He didn't realize who she was. He made a big misstep, thinking that because she had her tits out that she was some sort of whore or something. It's like,
was what, and not 6 minutes into the conversation, I'm like, let's get a rock of coke and let me eat your pussy and shit. And her face turned pale. Really? And she's crazy.
Yo, big up Key P. Oh, what happened to Packet? He got, I'll show you later. He got his TikTok got deleted, but I think he's on Instagram still. By the way, Instagram is way more like I've gone down a rabbit hole. There's this whole Instagram that exists. Please don't ask me how I found this, right? There's a whole Instagram that exists of like, it's borderline X-rated stuff on Instagram. Like, because every time you see people complaining about, oh, my Instagram got deleted, 10 years of work, 30,000 followers all gone. But I think I see way more like X-rated stuff on Instagram than I even see on Twitter nowadays. I think I see, like, Instagram is weird. So for some reason, the packet connoisseur, the guy that goes around the world reviewing cocaine and shit, his TikTok got banned, but his Instagram is still up. I don't know why. If you get banned from TikTok for reviewing cocaine, surely you should get banned from Instagram too. But for some reason, they don't mind it. Maybe he's been a bit careful with the language and shit, but it's strange the things you can get away with on Instagram. There's so much like there's some really aggressive stuff on Instagram. I'm sure some of you guys have seen it, especially when they put that fucking little filter, little fucking blur on it. Oh, this is concerning. Don't press it. You press it, like, hold on, did someone's head just get taken off? Like, Instagram is pretty wild. It doesn't seem like it, but it's quite no holds barred. Yeah, exactly, Colin. Exactly. Go. Exactly. There's way more, like, Instagram is pretty crazy. Like, I've seen some, like, hold on, that girl's tits are barely out, are basically out, innit? Like, saw someone get run over. You seen the most craziest, gnarliest fucking skateboard crashes that are really disturbing and shouldn't be an like someone getting attacked by dogs. You're like, Jesus Christ.
easy as it is, but I knew that I had done something wrong. Like I had, and then 3 months later, she was dating a friend of mine, and I went to a
black
party.
guy?
No, a white guy, and I went to a party and saw her, and the look she gave me was just horrid. And after that, somebody came up to me one day and they go, "Why does she hate you so much?" And I go, "Because one night she caught me, you know, like just sometimes
Squirreling.
women throw you off. You know what I'm saying? Like was. You have no idea how good she looked that night.
Yeah.
Like this is when Chelsea had the Volvo. That's when she had the Volvo.
Wow.
She was.
Jesus Christ! You remember what car she was driving? So it was a bit. This whole exchange is a little bit scary. I'm not gonna lie. When she had the Volvo, when she lived in that blue building, I think it was number 27, Fairmont Road, floor number 12. Uncle Joey, I think you need to keep some of this information to yourself, brother. I think you need to keep some information to yourself.
Bang it. She would go up to the store and do the 9:15 spot every night. Fucking banging. But I'd never met her before.
Yeah.
I'd never met her before. I saw her, and we started talking. And the next minute, we were talking about cocaine and shit. And next thing you know, I'm like, "Chelsea, I gotta tell you something. You look fine in a motherfucker.
Wow, yeah.
Let's go somewhere and do some blow." And she was like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Get the fuck out of you, disgusting fat slob."
Really? Were you fatter?
No, I just...
Theo's questions are so good. We got Theo on. This is the peak era of Theo on podcast. Were you fatter? You never know. She still might want to fuck you.
I was just, you know, a gross person, man. I didn't know I was doing coke. And until this day, you can't mention my name. It's fucking hysterical. But at least I'm honest about it.
Yeah.
I didn't grope her or harvey her. I just asked her the truth. I'm gonna suck you. You know, I was.
I love how Uncle Joey's so like backwards. He's such a like you thought he's a boomer because Uncle Joey doesn't think there's anything wrong with just going up to a random woman and saying you want to suck her pussy or something. Nothing wrong with that. I just told her I wanted to suck her tits. You know, like they were there. Her tits were out. I told her I wanted a bit of a taste. What's wrong with that? I just said I wanted to suck her tits. Her tits were right there. Why can't I say that? Oh, I didn't Harvey Weinstein her or anything. Yeah. Like that makes it better, mate. Like that makes it better. Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh yeah, when you're on cocaine, man.
And from 98 to 2000 till I met Terry, 97, 96, that was all I had. I wasn't a handsome guy.
Yeah.
So I would just tell you, I got an 8-ball of coke and you got a pussy. What do you want to do?
Yeah.
You want to sit here and talk to Lee all night about fucking computers and podcasts? Or you want to come up to the room and get your little monkey eat with a coke rock on it? If you say it to 10 women, 2 of them are going to go home with you.
Oh, dude, I'm about to go home with you, bro.
If you say it 10 times
right now.
If you go up to 10 women and say that, one of you is going to take you up on your fucking own.
Yeah. You want me to fucking...
It was crazy.
Hunt that fox with this
it
rocks,
was
baby.
Fucking...
By the way, not that any of you care, but another mistake I did today, I was like, fuck, you know, always me in it, always little errors. So I had my coffee. Before I started to stream, I wanted to plug my charger in, my phone and shit. I plugged it into the the plug. I pulled it over the fucking desk. When I came back to sit on the desk, I realized that this bit was submerging my cup of coffee, which was boiling hot. I wiped it down, and then now I tried to plug it back in my phone. It charges for 2 seconds, then it stops charging. I just like, you know, luckily I've got more cable, but just like, honestly, like, what kind of luck is that? I drank the coffee too, by the way, so I don't know if I'm going to be fucking infected with fucking mercury or whatever, or zinc. But this happened to fall in my fucking coffee as I was just about to sit down and start streaming. So now this one particular cable is dead. It doesn't work anymore. It charges for like 2 seconds, then it dies. Great. And then we got to listen to fucking Joey Diaz excusing himself for sexually assaulting or harassing Chelsea Handler. And not knowing why she hates him. I don't know why she hates me. One day randomly I said I want to suck her off. I don't know why she hates me though.
Crazy.
Oh, dude, that was craziest. I remember. Yeah, man. And I remember she came into I was working at some club over there. They used to have that when I moved to town, man, I really started doing comedy in Los Angeles. You know, when I really think about it, like, I think the first time I ever went up on stage was in New Orleans, but after that, I just happened to be out here. I came out here to visit a buddy, and then next thing you know, they had comedy.
Big up Apex Putt in the stream chat. Sometimes no means yes, Brian. Exactly. Oh my god. Sometimes no means yes. That's a stand-up comedian way. That's a stand-up comedian way.
I ended up living with my friend, and they had comedy down the street from us over on San Vicente, over in Brentwood. And so they had a place over there. That guy with the wooden leg used to run it. TJ, White Boys of Comedy.
Yo, on 10 toes, Wagwan G, Wagwan. Not gonna lie, I'm down to watch Joey tear up. No, I'm not into that whatsoever. I'd rather watch Lee Syatt tear something up than Uncle Joey. I'm not with it. Uncle Joey be making crazy noises. That'll put me off. That will scar me forever. I'd rather watch Lee Syatt tear something up than watch fucking Uncle Joey. No, thank you. The grunts and the noises will be disgusting.
Mark Franco and TJ Mark, somebody, not TJ Mark Walters, different TJs, but it was 2 blocks away, so I walked down there on Wednesday night, and they started letting me get up. But anyway, Bruco had a room over there in Westwood, and Chelsea Handler would come in, Jim Norton would come in and stuff. And this was, Chelsea wasn't like famous or anything then, but she was kind of popular, you know. She was a comedian. It was like real amateurs over there, and
but you know what's interesting though? Apart from Joey Diaz's sexual assault story about Chelsea Handler, it is kind of interesting how many of these comedians have bad stories about her. She's not that well liked, isn't it? In general, people don't really like Chelsea Handler. She doesn't have the best reputation. She doesn't seem like she's a good hang. She's like a nightmare blunt rotation person, you know? She doesn't seem like she's a fucking good hang, which makes Joey Diaz's story even funnier because he caught the one woman who you shouldn't say that stuff to. She doesn't seem like a good vibe, a good hangout. No one seems to really like her at all. She's really successful. She's fucking killing it, money-wise and stuff, but people don't really seem to like her as a person. Because I can't believe she's she's out here on podcasts complaining about a roast. Oh, they went too far. It's a fucking comedy roast, girl. Like, come on, you're a comedian. It's meant to be no holds barred. Like, what?
yeah, I just didn't like her. I went and did her show one time, and she wouldn't even look at me, and she just treated me. And then on social media and stuff, and social media is not a good way to judge somebody, but you know, sometimes we do. And she just doesn't seem to have any empathy for people. There's something about her that makes me seem like she's just disconnected.
When you did the TV show for her.
Yeah.
How many times did you do it?
Just one time.
And what was her behavior towards you?
She wouldn't look at me, you know. She would talk to me, but wouldn't look at me.
Jesus
and she just made me feel
less than, innit?
I don't know. She didn't make me feel like welcome, you know. And when you're young and you're nervous, and I already got nervous, and I already, you know, the industry had was never really giving me much. You know, this industry's never given me much. You know, it's crazy to me. You're just getting a show over there at Fox, you know, or I don't know if we can talk about that or whatever, but you know, or an opportunity for that. You know, it's like it's
really. When did that show kind of fall through? I wonder if that show fell through because of the whole fucking cancel culture, because of the whole Me Too thing. I didn't know about that. Uncle Joey had a show on Fox. That definitely must have fell through because of the cancel culture thing and all the kind of reports and shit in the Me Too show. Has to, because I don't remember that going through.
Crazy. It's like just. But anyway, I've always had that little bit of chip on my shoulder, maybe. But yeah, she just made me feel like, I don't know, like I wasn't funny or I wasn't good enough or just stuff like that, you know.
There's nothing worse than going on something and somebody shuns you and you expect it.
Yeah, because I had expectations. I had at least there'd be some niceness, you know, like there's some excitement. Instead, it was like she's just kind of like this star, this thing. But now to me, I have this vision of her, and this could be wrong, of like a lonely, you know, older woman in like a castle with all this money, and she's just lonely. And I don't want anybody to end up that.
Oh, really? Big up her calling in the stream. I didn't know that. Everyone in the biz knows she's a terrible because she screwed everyone, literally and figuratively. Back in the 90s, she was putting out sex tapes with producers. Jesus Christ. She even put Christina P down when she was her writer. Fucking hell. Okay, cool. That makes sense. It's a shame, man. It's just because, again, she's a little bit like Ellen DeGeneres, isn't it? She's a little bit like Ellen DeGeneres. She does put out a version of herself where she kind of looks a certain way online. You know, she's a bit like him in that respect. She makes it seem like she's a certain way online or in front of the cameras, but behind the scenes, she seems like a bit of an asshole.
That way, and that could just be me thinking that way to make myself feel better. You know, that I felt like she was mean to me, but she seems like a real cunt to me. So whatever.
Nice. Good to know.
You know, you got to give something up for something. You know. And with fame comes, like I remember watching some program and Jennifer Aniston said when they shot the pilot for Friends that to celebrate, the guy took her to Vegas. The executive producer took everybody to Vegas.
Wow.
And then gave them each $500 and said, walk through the casino and gamble this because that's the last time you're ever going to be able to walk through a casino again.
Wow.
That's how big you guys are going to be.
They knew it out of the gate, huh?
They knew it out of the gate, and it's so weird how you...
That's amazing.
Listen, man. I was in this for so long, and I struggled for so long as a human being, that no matter what you throw at me now, it wouldn't change.
Yeah.
Like, I'm done. Like,
yeah, you already baked.
You only had me to go crazy when I was maybe up to 32.
Yeah.
This might explain also why he went to New Jersey, As much as I like to say it was about the allegations, partly that he ran away to New Jersey from LA, he was showing signs because Joey, I think that special burned Uncle Joey. That I think he was part of that was the first Netflix comedy special where they gave everyone 30 minutes. I think it was him, Christina P, Big J Okerson, and unfortunately for Joey Diaz, he had one of the worst ones. But he also said he just had a bad day, and I think that performance burned him and kind of scarred him a bit, and he wasn't the same. And he kind of just gave up, like, you know what, fuck this comedy shit, fuck trying to like be a. Do you know what I mean? Let me just do my spots and be comfortable that way. Which I also get on the Brian Callen thing, which I think, although Brendan was a bit, I'll relate that back to Callen later on, but there were clearly signs that, Joey Diaz wasn't want to be in and around here forever. Maybe he was preemptively trying to get in front of all the allegations. I don't know, but it feels like it.
33, 34. Yeah, I would have gone a different crazy. I would have gone.
Oh yeah, for sure. Being on set is hard when you're new. People big time you don't forget it. Yeah, I'm the same now. Even when I go to clubs and shit, and I'm on the come up, and I'm like, trying to like, I won't say network, but trying to get myself in a scene and shit, and you get treated like shit. You don't forget that. That might even be part of the reason why I'm so motivated to open a fucking club. Weirdly enough, that might be part of the reason why I'm so open. Obviously not, because I'm just, I love clubbing, I love nightclubs, I love DJing and all that shit. I want to be able to create my own space where people can have their own memories and they can live long past the time that I'm alive and shit, contribute to people's careers, create amazing moments. But yeah, when you're on the come up and you get big time, especially from somebody that's, I don't know, somebody you might look up to, or it's worse when you think someone's gonna be nice. That's actually the worst. When you know they're a dickhead, you can kind of anticipate it. But when you assume because you're in the same profession or something, or maybe because you're the same race or you have the same background, I don't know, something, you just assume they're gonna be nice to you and then they're not. Oof, that shit stings, bro. That shit fucking stings. But they do say in the entertainment industry, you always treat the people the same way as you come up, as on your way up, because you'll definitely see those same people on your way down. That's what they always say. They do say, make sure to do that. But I also think the entertainment industry has a good way of like filtering people. For the most part, the entertainment industry, if you're a piece of shit person, the fucking makeup artists and the people that work on the fucking food bit, that word's going to get around, and eventually it's going to affect your ability to do your job or to get jobs. So you're kind of in a way incentivized to be nice in a certain way, because it always comes back around to bite you in the ass. It always comes back around to bite you in the ass. Always. Like, for instance, like I remember this was years ago, before even he is famous now. Years ago, someone told me that The Rock is actually a piece of shit behind the scenes. The image that he portrays online and in front of cameras is different. Behind the scene or on set, he's an absolute asshole. People hate him. And I've always wondered, will that eventually get out? Will we eventually see people like talking badly about him because he's like, he's like a national treasure, right? He's like similar to like Snoop Dogg in America, how kind of like people kind of, adore him and shit. So it would catch people off guard. Whereas the Ellen DeGeneres thing, you know, it was kind of obvious to see that she was a bit of an ass. You know what I mean? I don't know. But I do think those type of industries do self-regulate pretty well. But like I said, it's just you know, it's a bit of a shame when you get big time. It really is, man. Especially when you're new. As Chris says, it's just so hurtful, man. It really is.
Crazy at that age, but I always knew what I was. What makes people crazy in this town is not knowing what they are. Either they're too much or too little. It's like being somewhere where you don't belong. I always stress that because one day you're going to do that and you're going to see how bad you feel, and you're going to think of me as a comedian or an actor. You know, when you shoot a show, you ever shoot a show for somebody? Yeah, you should. And you go to these shows and you see the same fucking comics. They're always coming by to say hello.
Yeah,
I got invited to this, so I came. And you look at them and you go, have you shot this show? And they go, no. And you feel bad for them. You go, then why the fuck are you here? Because I shot this show, one episode, and I feel bad being here. Like, I shot one scene on one show, and I feel like a fucking asshole. So you didn't even shoot the show, but you're down here doing what? What is your purpose?
Yeah.
What is your fucking purpose? You look like a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
You're eating free food, whatever. If you don't belong somewhere, do not be at that fucking place.
Yeah.
Do not be at that place. You asked me a question before. You take Lee on the road. Lee's been doing comedy less than a year.
Yeah. I didn't realize that.
I would not do him any favors.
Yeah.
It would not do him any favors. It would ruin him.
Yeah.
It would ruin him. I know that.
Yeah.
He's not ready by no means.
Yeah.
He's 2 years away, or I'd ruin him. His whole perception of stand-up would be ruined.
That's a good point. That's very
his whole
true.
perception. I took him to the Wilbur Theater. He saw what it's like. Now the rest is up to him.
Yeah.
He's 2 years away from even stepping on the stage with me on a plane.
Yeah.
Because I know what it would do to him.
Yeah.
He needs to go on his own now and go to Lexington, Kentucky, and go to all the places where they've never seen a Jew.
Yeah.
And do that, and
Jay
get back
down,
to me
brother.
in 2 or 3 years. And
You can
we'll
do
see what we
blackface
got.
too if you're Jewish, I think. Don't you guys get
No,
that?
they can't
No,
do
no,
that.
I think
Don't even bring that
I'll
up.
hold off on
They
that.
just fucking fired Kellen Megan. Now you got to bring up blackface. You like the kiss of death tonight. What the fuck is wrong with you? I don't want to hear blackface. I don't want to talk about blackface. They just fired Megan Kelly and you want to bring up blackface. You got great things happening in your fucking life. Leave blackface alone, all right?
I just didn't know if Lee could do it.
No,
No, I'm not. I'm gonna hold off on that one.
No, it's the truth. If it's 2 in the afternoon and you ain't high, go fuck.
Fair play. Fair fucking play. Let's get back to the video. Jesus Christ, where's it going?
Oh,
Mad detail, isn't it? Fucking hell, I really have ADHD. Really half an hour level of a detail from like, what is that? Less than 52 seconds of a video, and I went on a fucking half an hour detour. Jesus Christ. Meandering King.
All right, so the roast of Kevin Hart was last weekend, and Chelsea Handler and Tony Hinchcliffe were part of it, and you could tell these two actually hate each other. I think because they're both competing to see who can be the most insufferable comedian, but Tony might have...
Oh no, big up the Wrestling Universe community. Oh, this fuck. I hoped it wasn't true. Big up your Wrestling Universal community. That's mad you said that. Everyone is aware in the wrestling business that The Rock is a corporate guy. Since he left, went to Hollywood, his connections are beyond super elite. He's turned into a cunt. No one wants him in the WWE. All these ratings are forever rotted. I didn't know that, man. Fuck, it sucks to hear that. Because I heard it from a friend who's like a hairdresser. Says like, yeah, he's a piece of shit in real life. It's like, oh man, don't say that. Cause I think at that time I was like obsessed with The Rock's like gym videos when he was like really fucking super yoked. I was obsessed with like the workout stuff, the hustle things. And I heard, nah, he's a cunt. He's a real cunt. I was like, shit. Oh look, Colin as well. See, there we go. The Rock is a jerk. Oh fuck you know. Okay, Jesus Christ.
At his match. Like, Chelsea's so unlikable. Even people who absolutely hate Tony could barely even appreciate her roasting him. There were some posts made about how Chelsea destroyed racist MAGA comedian Tony Hinchcliffe, but most of the comments are like, this lady sucks. She has no right to talk. And at least Tony thrives off of being a heel. You know, he likes to be offensive and upset people and be the villain. But Chelsea wants people to like her and now tries to be a social activist and politically correct, but it doesn't work at all. Like, some of her shows even get protested by the crowd she tries to pander to because she's a Zionist, which, before bringing her up, Shane Gillis, who was hosting the event, mentioned that she's a Zionist and went to an Epstein party, which I guarantee that got to her the most out of all the jokes made about her. Because then also her roasting Tony and Shane wouldn't work as well, because the people who want to see Tony get called out for being a racist and a Trump and Joe Rogan dick rider are also very anti-Israel. So Shane introducing her by calling her a Zionist made all those people be like, yeah, let's not give her credit here. You know, she's just as bad as Tony. I mean, it's crazy on Reddit. Even the positive posts people are trying to make about her roasting Tony, she was getting a ton of backlash in the comments. And people were praising Shane Gillis.
What's that one there? What's that one there? What's that one there? Sorry, I missed that. 1 second, people.
Shane Gillis.
Broken clock and all that. Can we stop normalizing her? She's hateful as fuck. Didn't she have dinner at the Epstein house? As if she could talk. She's a raging Zionist that blindly supports Israel and the genocide it's been committing.
Tony, she was getting a ton of backlash in the comments, and people were praising Shane Gillis.
Would be much funnier joke if she herself wasn't a self-proclaimed Zionist. She sure hated it when Shane Gillis pointed out that night. Makes the MAGA jokes a lot less pointed. Okay, I didn't know. I thought the Zionist thing was a joke. I didn't think it was actually real. I don't really pay much attention to that. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really know much about Chelsea Handler like that.
Which is wild to see, because Reddit, people would say, is like the most woke platform. And during the roast, obviously Shane made some pretty edgy jokes that people were getting offended by.
What the fuck? Coyle in the stream chat. Him and Will Smith smash dudes openly. God damn. Okay, fair play. So maybe Bert was right. Maybe Bert Kreischer was right with that story he said about how he felt like Will Smith was hitting on him. Bert Kreischer lies a lot, but maybe that was the one thing that he said was actually true. Maybe Bert Kreischer wasn't lying when he said he felt like Will Smith was trying to hit on him.
Like Chelsea. But I guess since Shane called her out for being a Zionist, people on Reddit were able to look past his offensive jokes. So some of the comments are like, I love that Shane brought this up. He knew what he was doing, and I don't think it came from a place of kind-hearted roasting, and it shouldn't. And I love how Shane takes his licks in stride, but she's all butthurt that he brought up Epstein and Israel murdering children. She looks shook going up there, and her jokes were weak. I think Shane is laughing that they aren't landing. So Shane bringing this up while introducing her was genius, and she was definitely pissed about it. I mean, the first thing she did was address it. And I'm going to try to play the clips from the roast, but Netflix can be strict with copyright, so I might have to remove them. If they're missing, it's because of copyright problems.
Chelsea is a Zionist. I'm not saying that's good or bad. Speaking of dead kids, she's a big fan of abortions. Chelsea's been scraped more times than the grill at Benihana.
Jesus Christ. So good.
Speaking of tossing tiny shrimp into a child's mouth, Chelsea Handler went to dinner at Jeffrey Epstein's house in 2010. You can look it up. There's articles. It wasn't like a big party. There was like 7 people there. And it was like Prince Andrew and Woody Allen were there. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Chelsea Handler.
And Shane, just so you know, Judaism and Zionism are 2 different things. Kind of like how Chinatown and Koreatown are 2 different things, but your favorite slur works in both places. Shane has been accused of being anti-Asian, which is ironic considering he has the complexion and physique of a steamed dumpling.
And I'd imagine she was really just looking forward to roasting Shane and Tony, but it didn't go very well. Now she's all upset about it. I mean, there are articles and posts that are like, she destroyed them, but if you look at the comments, nobody really agrees, even people that hate Tony. So even the praise she gets seems kind of forced. Also, this is hilarious. Afterwards, she went on Don Lemon's show to complain about it and how they were too offensive and mean. And Don is like, man, I love that joke you made about Tony. It was your best joke of the night, or is the best joke of the night. And he plays a joke that wasn't even about Tony. So he thinks her best dig at Tony was a joke not even directed at him. Well, actually, maybe Chelsea did make it about him, but it didn't make any sense, and it wasn't even a very good joke. Because it's about how comedians that support Trump won't go fight in Iran, and they'll only go to the Middle East for the comedy festivals. referencing the Riyadh festival. But Tony and Shane both turned down offers to do that festival. So this is really cringy. Don Lemon is like, oh, you own Tony. Look at how offended he is here. And then she has to be like, oh, well, actually, I don't think Tony did the festival. And Don just seemed out of it during this interview. Like, also at one point, he's like, all right, here's a clip of Tony Hinchcliffe, and it's a clip of Shane Gillis.
Up there. Just kind of
self-producing. That's what I do. That's the difference I don't make. He's probably been on the baggies and he got shown on the stream. The difference I make, when you get on the baggies, don't go on stream. He probably was on the Addies. And he went straight on stream. That's a mistake. That's the first mistake you make. He was prepping the show while he was on the Addies, got on and started just chatting shit.
Giving it to them because they were the Trumpsters, right? They pushed them and whatever. But that was the joke that you told about Tony Hinchcliffe and going to the Middle East I think it was the most brilliant joke of the night. Here it is.
Now that your favorite leader is making the draft mandatory, I assume that all of you will be signing up to go fight in Iran. Or do you tough-talking pussies only go to the Middle East for comedy festivals?
You think yourself, I didn't go.
It was that look at the end that got me. He did not. I don't think he liked it.
He went towards the group of them that did. Kevin did. Kevin went.
Yeah. This particular joke, this is Tony Hinchcliffe making a joke about you. And I think later you had to explain to him the difference between being Jewish and a Zionist. But here it is.
Chelsea is a Zionist.
And then she also addressed hanging out with Epstein during this interview, which she had dinner with him after he was already a convicted sex offender, so it doesn't look good. But of course she acts like she didn't want to be there. So also she complained about how Tony and Shane were too offensive, they're sexist and racist because Chelsea is so politically correct. I mean, again, people would say she has no right to talk if you look at some of the jokes she's made. Like, she complains about Shane and Tony's racist jokes, but she literally made racist jokes about a 3-year-old. For some reason, she really likes taking shots at Angelina Jolie's adopted kids. When her adopted son from Vietnam was 3 years old, Chelsea said he probably doesn't know he's Asian yet.
Jesus
he certainly
Christ.
doesn't know he's going to be a horrible driver.
Jesus Christ.
And that he's going to be amazing at doing nails. So making fun of a comedian at a roast is too far.
She's a child. All that directed towards a child. All of that directed towards a literal child is crazy.
But making fun of a 3-year-old is fair game. But everybody knows she hates kids. Also, when it was rumored that Brad Pitt and Angelina were getting divorced, Chelsea said Brad has a drinking problem, probably because instead of hanging out with George Clooney and Matt Damon, he's stuck in a house with 85 kids speaking 15 different languages, and he's married to a lunatic. And Chelsea made a joke about another one of their adopted kids. She said he must be so pissed off. He probably thought he hit the lottery after being rescued by an A-list actress who's going to take him from third world Cambodia, only to find out she's going to take him to every other third world country in the universe. But of course now Chelsea's like, oh, I can't believe how rude comedians are. What's wrong with them for making offensive jokes? And she acts like the jokes about her during the roast didn't offend her, but they definitely did.
We knew Chelsea Handler would be available today because it's Mother's Day. She once dated 50 Cent, not the first time a Jew bent over for 50 Cent. She's aging like a vegetable in Lizzo's fridge. And she f***ing sucks and always has, by the way. Her whole act is just talking about how it's stupid to have kids. We get it, your ovaries are busted. That's like if Kevin's whole act was about how roller coasters aren't that cool anyway. But seriously, Chelsea actually had her eggs frozen, not on purpose. They're just inside of a cold, frigid bitch.
To be fair, he was pretty shit though. He did better to Tom Brady roast. He was pretty terrible, I think, overall. He wasn't that good. Maybe it was the fucking machine gun fire style he was doing his roast at. He wasn't really taking much of a pause, just like one after the other. Maybe just generally what he was saying. He wasn't that great. I didn't really enjoy Tony Hinchcliffe's set. I thought it was pretty shit. But the worst set definitely went to Kevin Hart. I think Kevin Hart had the worst set of the night. He definitely ruined it into even though it was his own roast, he kind of ruined it. He was terrible, man. Kevin Hart is so unfunny. It's really incredible how bad he is.
They are vile. Tony Hinchcliffe is like, come on. You were uncomfortable. It was gross. Some of the stuff is really gross. And I mean, I get it.
It's
I
a
guess
roast,
that's the
you
spirit
dickhead.
of a roast. But even, I don't know. I find it all to be pretty ick. So I just wanted to play it a little bit of a higher key and while also eviscerating them and letting them know on behalf of women, really.
Yeah.
Like, since this seems to be an epidemic, you know what I mean? I really wanted to focus on the most kind of gross behavior that's rewarded.
Yeah. Were you uncomfortable?
I mean, no, it's pretty hard to make me feel uncomfortable. You know, I don't really care enough about any of it, but I definitely was like, this isn't funny. I don't think some of this is funny. You know, it's like I don't think jokes like that are.
All jokes should be funny, no? Especially they're jokes. All jokes should be inherently funny, but yeah. I don't know why she's seeing the bad in it straight away. Kind of acting like a non-comedian. I get why people don't like this lady.
Necessary. It's like, if you can't think of things to say in a more clever way, why would you ever make a joke about a noose? It's just not acceptable. And I'm not taking any of the joy out of it. It was a fun night. I had a great time, but I just don't think that kind of stuff is necessary. And I don't think it's funny.
And since Chelsea's a 50-year-old feminist with no kids, she has this really bad white savior complex. Like, she made this Netflix documentary about her white privilege, which was so cringy, and it was all about herself. And when her ex-boyfriend 50 Cent said he was thinking about voting for Trump, she said she had to call him and remind him he's black and can't vote Republican. I mean, it's also really creepy how much she infantilizes black people, which Matt and Shane actually talked about this on their podcast years ago.
No, but I remember seeing her show.
Least racist person, dude.
She did a whole show about, like, confronting her white guilt.
Okay, so
dude, she goes to a spoken word, like a poet jam, and then asks to speak at the end.
That's actually more racist than being a racist. Stuff like this is actually way more offensive than just saying the hardy are. I'd much rather 100 chuds than one Chelsea handler. Give me 100 chuds than one Chelsea, because at least with chud I know where I stand. You know, I know where I fucking stand. These like self-aggrandizing fucking racial panderers and all this stuff, I fucking detest this. Give me 100 chuds over one Chelsea handler every day of the week.
Filming a documentary, as you may or may not know, about white privilege.
And it's like, I just want you to know that I'm sorry. And it's a bunch of black people like,
what the fuck?
I think somebody even criticizes her on that, which is good for them.
She's like, oh, yes, thank you.
Yeah,
I mean,
she's like, true, this is actually true.
Speaking of love being admonished and whipped, dude. Well, she apparently must be, I guess her white privilege special gave her the necessary powers to remind 50 Cent that he's black and should vote Democrat.
Oh, she did that publicly?
Yeah, he was like, fuck this, dude, 60%, I'm not paying this shit, this is bullshit. And she was like, I had to remind 50 Cent he was black.
So he doesn't want to pay 62% of taxes because he doesn't want to go from being 50 cent to 20 cent. And I had to remind him that he was a black person, so he can't vote for Donald Trump.
Which, you know, maybe she's kidding, but it's like...
No one on earth needs to remind 50 Cent that he's black, dude. That's literally like if you wanted to pick the blackest dude on earth, maybe it's 50 Cent.
Also, Chelsea said she can't be racist because she dates black people. Because a bunch of people accused her of being racist when that movie 12 Years a Slave won Best Picture. Chelsea used it as an opportunity to promote this book about her trip to Africa called Uganda
Christ.
Be Kidding Me.
Jesus
and she
Christ.
got a bunch of backlash for it. And she's like, come on, I date black people. I'm not racist. So she is something else. But then she loves calling out everyone else for being racist. Like during the roast, she probably thought as a white privileged lady, she needs to call out Tony and Shane's racism. Like she made jokes, of course, about Tony being gay and racist, which were all right. You know, they're decent jokes, but to act like she owned them or destroyed them is ridiculous. Not even people on Reddit agree with that, and they obviously hate Tony.
Tony is what happens when women don't have safe access to abortion care. Tony and Shane both live in Texas where abortion is illegal, but on the upside, if you see one of them doing comedy, there's a pretty good chance your uterus will start dry heaving on its own.
Jesus Christ.
Tony is a real guy's guy,
jokes.
or what's more commonly known as a bottom. But it actually looks a little bit better in person. You must be using Crest white supremacist strips.
What?
Tony and Shane, this must be so exciting for you guys. Usually on Sunday nights, you just burn a cross on someone's lawn. And tonight you get to roast a whole black guy. Well, a half of one, because it's Kevin. Tony, quick question. If you're here tonight, who's keeping Joe Rogan's balls warm in their mouth?
I think that got to him a little bit. I don't think he there was quite a lot of like Tony Hinchcliffe, you suck Rogan off jokes, which I really enjoyed. I just looking from the outside in, it looked like those jokes got to Tony Hinchcliffe. I don't think he appreciated those types of jokes. I think they kind of rattled him a little bit.
So there's definitely a beef between Tony.
Anyway, I'll leave it there. Big up to Liz to Try. Fucking legend. Big up to Liz to Try. Fucking legend. Big up to Liz to Try. A fucking legend.